usual formalities.
Welcome all, anyway, to the first ACE event in Southampton, or the Solent, so as it would now be called. But yeah, this is the launch event, so quite rightly so, we wanted to make sure that it was a nice social one, make sure you all had a bit to drink before we do any kind of presentations. I know that some of you haven't ever been to an ACE event before, but just a show of hands, who has been to what was a Atlassian group or an ACE event? Okay, so a few, that's good. But those that haven't, it is a community-run thing. It started back in 2008, basically by users like us that wanted to understand and kind of find like-minded people that kind of just wanted to find something passionate and discuss new ways and new thinkings and things like that. But since 2008, it has continued to grow, and the community is now almost at 4 million members, 3,500 events a year, and almost 200 chapters like this one run these events. So, you know, it's a big thing, it's a big community, we're constantly growing, and we want to make sure that we always grow. But the big thing in that is that it is a community. Anybody order a pint? Oh yeah. Should have done. Okay. So the big thing in this is that it is a community. This is the first, so obviously we've got some lovely speakers in, which we will have tonight. But if there's any particular topics that you guys want to see done here, then please let us know so that we can make sure that we arrange those and find the appropriate people to do them. Right, that is enough of the intro. Nigel from Eficode is going to be our first speaker tonight, and that is all about Jira Product Discovery. So, big hand to Nigel.
And thank you for the round of applause. It is being an honour to be here for the first event, and pleasure is to this week. Fantastic. With faces I can recognise, but studio alumni here. I'm going to talk about Jira Product Discovery today, which I think is a topical subject to talk about. It's quite new in the system. It's been in general availability for 3 months, something like that, very early on. So it's still new to lots of my customers. A lot of people are asking questions about it. You know, how can I use this? Who's it for? Benefits to get that sort of stuff. So the next 20 minutes or so, I'll try and answer a few of those questions for you. If you have questions, please shout out. And if anyone is using this as well, at the end, have a little bit of chat about what the experiences are as well for yourselves and how you find it, really, because this is, as I've explained, a community event about sharing our experiences as Jira users and customers as well. So Jira Product Discovery, as you see it, fantastic, there it is on the screen there, is a tool for managing your ideas. It's managing your funnel of ideas coming into your software and product development organization. And there's a good chance that your product development teams are facing two main problems. The first is they're probably not keeping up with demand. More things are going to be asked of them than you have the capacity to deliver. So you have to be careful about how you choose the highest value things for your customers to step The second challenge is a little bit more nuanced. There's a good chance that the work they are doing isn't that valuable. People like Pitts and other industry papers keep reporting that somewhere between about 50 and 70% of features that are developed are rarely used. And out of the 100% of stuff developed, probably about 20% is never used by customers. And if I could say to your teams, I can give you 20% of the capacity back, because it would be incredibly valuable to do. And a lot of the reason why this 20% and this 50% of rarely used stuff happens is because, frankly, there's a lot of people's bright ideas, pet projects, things like that that are plenty upon the platforms to be developed. I quite often call this WSL prioritization, who shouts the loudest. You know, the person with the loudest voice in the room is the person whose idea makes it through to develop into production. And that's quite often waste, because just one person's idea isn't enough. So this tool really is to try and help the core product owners are stuck in the middle between the customers, the stakeholders, the business owners, the developers, and manage those priorities, manage those ideas. And this is going to be the challenge. It's the way of managing it in a transparent way so everyone can see what's on the plate of the developers, what input at, and how the system is going to be used to prioritise work. It's quite a simple tool, so it doesn't take long to demonstrate, but the practices behind it make it quite a special tool. It's quite interesting. Because quite often when you start using this tool, start describing its use, it shines a bit of a spotlight on an organisation's product management techniques and processes, and how they manage work and how they prioritise. If they're mature at prioritising work, it shows up. So let's show you kind of how it works, because you want to see the tool, right? So I have a Jira project for Jira Product Discovery. There are now 4 different project types of Jira Product Discovery. And straight away, we're using it to capture ideas on the screen. We can open it up so contributors can create new ideas and then appear on the screen. They're visible for everybody who's allowed into this project so they can see more. And straight away, we've got a benefit because we've taken these ideas and we've separated them. We've separated them from the product backlog. In Agile terms, this is called delaying commitment. If it's on a backlog, it's kind of saying, we want to do this. If it's a separate project of ideas, you're not committing anything. Keeping it as an ideas list. Immediate benefit for a lot of organisations, because we're not just dumping 9 months worth of development stuff on the product backlog for a development team. We're not scaring the team. You know, they've got that huge great list that goes on for years and years. And that's it. As a team leader for the development project, I had about 4 years of stuff preparing for this one time, and it was kind of managing it. I should have just deleted most of it, but it wouldn't make a difference. This separation comes straight away. So you can see we've got these ideas, and we're starting to capture some information about them. A summary, a description. And this is a Jira project. We're going to have those sorts of things. There's a workflow. No surprises there. It's going to have those sort of characteristics. But we've got some new things like goals. We can capture an idea. Yes.
Sorry, can you just a little bit louder?
I'll try. Very quiet. I'm going to try and capture some goals in my example. The reason for goals is we want to make sure these ideas align to your business or your product strategy. Have you got a business or product strategy? I hope so. If you haven't, it's still not going to help us. But you can derive those sort of ideas. Maybe using a content template or something like that. Saying, hey, the value of the tool is this product, these are the customers, these are the next priorities for the next quarter, that sort of stuff. And once we define those, in the tool, let's try and align our ideas to those. You can see each one, I hope, has got a little set of scales next to it. That's the weighting that we're providing, associating that idea with those goals. Where we have ideas that align to our quarterly priorities and our business goals, we get points. Where we don't get points. See, straight away we're prioritising work by, does it fit to our strategy? Doesn't it? Little bright ideas that somehow make it into development, straight away we're trying to say, is it in or is it out? So I've got some examples here. This one here is fulfilling 2 of our goals, so it's 9 points straight away. Delighting users has stuck is 5 points. I've got complete control over these, so my goals are set up in the demo system. If you use the system, you set up your own goals on this. I'm capturing insights. Insights are supposed to be evidence of why something is important. There's no point saying, it's my great idea, therefore I think we should do it. It's my own maybe. I want to capture empirical evidence that says someone else said this, one of my customers does this, our competitors are doing this, some industry research says this is important. Whatever you want to capture, you can capture and associate with these things as evidence of why it's a good idea or not. And if you've got Chrome, there's a Chrome extension that lets you get screenshots of the same associated with the picture of Jira Product Discovery, which is a really good feature. Helps you build that evidence. So I've got 2 pieces of evidence. And this is my fictional pizza delivery shop example I use quite often. So on this one, the picture is here. My insights, one of my insights is I looked at Domino's Pizza, where we've got a menu item that describes some of the slides. And that's my slide's idea. This is examples of where some of those competitors use evidence. So, capture some information, I've got some information about it, and I can have evidence of why it's good. I can associate documents, I can capture comments from contributors and collaborators, votes, anything I want. And this is incredibly flexible. I can add extra fields. If I press this little plus button, you can see all the extra fields that I can add to my data capture if I want to as well. I can also use forms in Jira as well. If I capture, say, the slides one, for example, I want to capture some information in a nice structure. So if I use a form, I can ask appropriate questions. I don't have to keep going back to the customers and saying, why is this important? Why is this valuable? What features are it trying to fix? You can see here there's a form that's captured in it, following some really good best practice behaviors. There's about 4 or 5 templates out of the box to help you do this. So things like the problem definition, what the solution is going to look like, how we validate whether the solution is correct for customers, what early indicators might be this is successful. Try to encourage some agile ways of thinking in defining these requirements or ideas in this way. So now we capture ideas, a nice big list from all of our stakeholders, and we're trying to engage our stakeholders in giving us ideas for our list. We can start organizing. So we can have multiple views set up to help the product owner and the product management team manage those ideas. Here's some examples. So I've got another view that's going to be my parking lot unit. So anything that's in the status of parking lot and filtering those out. I'm having a regular monthly meeting to go through my new ideas. This is the screen I go to try and work through. Simple filter. Choose which filter I want to show, choose how I'm going to filter it. Very simple example. Some smarter examples. Maybe I want to prioritize the work. So in this example, I'm going to use weighted shortest job first, which is a scaled agile time for prioritizing, like based on cost of delays, emission reduction, various factors like that. So I'm going to capture that information in these columns over here, and I'm going to work out the Worcester value, which is this right-hand column over on the right-hand side there. Jira Product Discovery is excellent at user interfaces, trying to be as engaging as possible for its customers. So you can see low scoring numbers that show in red all the samples. High scoring numbers that show lots of rose cheeked emojis and those green colours. It's giving a lot of positive and negative feedback to the users. The stakeholders who are coming in now, the developers that are in the business, they want a user interface that's nice and engaging. It's obvious. And if I'm submitting an idea like it looks at those sad faces, I shouldn't be that surprised if it's not going to cut it, it's not going to inspiration. For the happy faces, then I'm on to win their idea. Everyone can see that, everyone can hopefully agree that this work is being prioritized in the right way. If I want to be really transparent, yes.
Quick question here. So you've mentioned stakeholders a couple of times.
Yeah.
Can we stick dollar numbers on any of this?
If you want to, create a field that's got a number.
So either it's going to generate X revenue or it's going to be X cost saving.
Yes.
If we do this and then we can wait.
Yes.
Perfect.
You can prioritize by that if you want to. It's quite advanced saying this idea will give you this money, but you can do it, and fantastic, let's do it. It's a really great way of prioritizing work.
Yeah.
You know, it's completely ruthless in a way because it's like I get this much money.
Yeah.
You know, there's no argument about it. But it's also it tends to be a little bit more complicated because if it takes 6 months to generate that much money, could you do so quickly? Gives you half that value. So it's not the only way to factor. It is a way to factor.
So yeah, it's part of the factors and not the sole benefit.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see how I'm using these data captures to prioritize, and I've ordered this list by this Worcester field here. Again, it's quite fun. So this top idea over here is the one that I'll probably select if I'm using this method of prioritizing. Of course, I can gamify a bit, which is obviously a different one. Can't help that. If I can record these values are sensible, that will give me an unarguable position as a product owner or product manager why we should go this. Let's try a different approach. So I'm going to use it by its what we call price. which is reach, which is affected, its impact, which is a star rating of 5. Confidence, how confident are those 2 numbers, and its effort. Again, it's all in large digits. So I've captured those. You can see visual face elements here to help you capture those. These little stars, I can make it 3 or 4 stars quite easy to do by adjusting those like that. And I can prioritize my work by device score over on the right hand side. How we do this? Very simple. If I just enter this field, you can see at the bottom here, there's a little formula calculation. Very straightforward, very easy to set up. We followed some good practice industry standards for prioritization of process. If I set up a couple of different views, I can have a couple of different angles and can use a list of what this looks like, effort versus impact, what this looks like. And as a product owner, I can then choose which values get changed and which ideas get pushed forward. So hopefully now our stakeholders understand transparently how the prioritizing work, what ideas have been gathered so far, what criteria they're getting delivered in. So we can use some charts to help back these up a little bit. These little charts plot using the values shown for question, for example. They just help visualize. The top left hand quadrant is the quickest to deliver and the highest value. Those are the items which are list. The top right hand on the next, bottom left, bottom right, in that order. It's probably easier to understand with the impact versus effort to eliminate, which is a slightly different chart. Now I know, looking at this chart, that's probably the item to be first, because it gives me the highest value for the shortest effort. Probably that one, and that one, that one. Those over there, then move to the right. These bottom right ones, let's be honest, they're high effort and low maintenance. Chances are they're good, because chances are by the time you get this far, something else will come, some other ideas. So ask yourselves this: should they be done or limited? Because if they are, they're too big. And if we make them smaller, that gamify it to limited values and actually it's something. I'm talking about agile here, aren't I? I'm delivering a smaller chunk of value first to get feedback, and by doing so, I prioritize that work. Large pieces of work, I don't want to do it. It's too much risk, it's too much effort. Let's make it down as we can. It's encouraging those sort of behaviors. So now as product owners, we've hopefully worked out a priority list. We can start liaising and collaborating with our stakeholders to talk about how to spend these things. So we can set up a very simple Kanban chart here, for example, of our priority area items. So we're going to do science first in this example, then we're going to do feedback, then we'll do tracking now. Next, we've got the apps, the email offers coming on. We're not trying to commit on dates at this point, we're just trying to give quick feedback to our stakeholders about these are the things we're going to do now, these are the things we're doing next. Give feedback. Then, process differently, give feedback. It's very straightforward. I can, of course, start linking this to delivery. Because the next thing the stakeholders want to know is when is this going to be due? So what's the progress of this item's work, for example. So we can link these items into the items of which the software development backlog. So we're keeping that engagement going. And quite often find product owners, sometimes they manage ideas in things like Excel or AHA, Planview, those sort of tools. They get so disconnected from the actual development process that as soon as the idea starts, they kind of lose contact with the development team. We're working on this finish. There's no kind of progress feedback for stakeholders. There's no kind of feedback at all to show them what is happening, what things are actually worked on. So you've got the usual stakeholder engagement at the time. So you can see here these first two items are being worked out. This one's halfway completed, this one's in progress. We can create Jira issues from this ideas panel and then we can go through to development projects. You don't have to have your stakeholders looking around your development projects to get some information. It's just feedback. This is probably where it really starts to get really useful to talk about. Sorry, I didn't quite hear you. You said you could create Jira issues directly. You can, yes. So we can decide what we're going to do next. So if I click here, you can see there's a create delivery ticket there. And that's just a picture. And if I show you one of the ones I've already got enabled, created, you can see this one's linking to a Jira and it's linking to a couple of stories. So you can drill down to see what is being delivered. So this is really where it's interesting and useful for makers to get feedback from the stakeholders. Making sure they develop transparent as well as your user management. And finally, of course, you're going to have to commit to something. So as soon as you started creating a Jira ticket, you're getting feedback from your teams. Hopefully they'll start to commit to this. Sprints are appearing in, what quarters they come in. So at this point here, we need to find somewhere it's actually showing. There we go. There we go. We've got some actual items on the roadmap that your stakeholders can see. They can see the progress, they can see the events, see what things are being tracked in the platform. Really, really powerful tool.
So as a product manager, you probably want to give your stakeholders or the key personnel above you access to this information rather than to Jira software.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, you might want to back it up with Atlas reports.
Yeah.
Because that also integrates as well. So it's a really good combination of tools there. Fantastic to give you a project update or whatever they're going to be. And you might want to do project reporting as well, regards your maps, etc., etc. But at least give you their first progress tracker, high level. For a lot of your stakeholders, that's enough.
Yeah.
They don't need the detail. Really what they want to know is, have you started it? That's what they're very much. Where's the connect? Really, really powerful tool. In order to use it, you need a license. You can use it for free as long as you have less than 3 creative users. Creators are the ones who can edit the tickets, set the values, those sorts of stuff. There's collaborative licenses as well. Anybody who's got a Jira software license, service management license, work management license, automatically gets a collaborator license as well. So they can come into the tool, they can see what's going on, they can see the screens they're showing you today, they can make comments on the ticket, how they can make new ideas. What we can't do is change the values or transition statuses or anything like that. If you do want to create a license, $10 a month, so £160, which is actually pretty good value for a user, product owner, something like that. It's cheap enough and it's got a small enough user base that I think this is quite a cost-effective tool, especially if they're currently working with something like Candy or a Archer set of tools. There's a lot of advantage just using this inside you. Any questions?
Thank you, Nigel. Great presentation. I'm curious about the creation process. You talked before about templates, so actually creating issues like templates and things like that. So is it only the collaboration users that can create tickets or ideas through the collaboration template? Or like if you wanted to, for example, host a portal which was like ideas for how we can improve company culture. It wasn't just the engineering teams, wanting everyone to be able to see some ideas, make that example. But is there something like that, or is it just locked down into the collaboration?
It's meant to be people who are collaborators who've got Jira software licenses or something like that, who are creating ideas for our products. That's really the big thing, because that is the site. External parties, unless you haven't got a license for yet. There's no reason to there's interfaces with There's no reason why you can't create these ideas on the backbone as a result of having got a website or Canva or something like that. Its richest user experience is coming from those collaborators who are creating it as the document.
Thank you.
Where to use Jira service management, so get people to raise tickets with a similar information.
Fantastic.
And then importing it into them. But that's the plan. We haven't quite implemented it yet, but that's the plan.
It's a good
anyone
plan.
in the company can raise a ticket. It goes into product so we can deal with it.
Are you just going to automation to shove them across?
Sorry?
Are you going to do automation to
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. We haven't quite worked out how we're going to filter all the rubbish. But that's the idea anyway. Then we've got a portal anyone can use.
Fantastic. Are you using Jira Product Discovery already?
We're about to implement it.
Of course.
Well, so far it seems to work.
Great.
It's quite straightforward.
Yeah.
And it replaces something we're already using to do similar things. So
Fantastic. That's the idea.
So we're looking to implement in September.
Richard.
I was going to say, that model was quite interesting. Would you use Jira Service Management as an intake method, then automation linking tickets, but then for other insights and other sources of truth, you would put it into the insights of here's a Google Doc representing that, here's an external party, and then sort of group that together so you can see there's multiple converging sources of truth. Too.
Yeah, we were all research.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. 20 customers who ask for the same thing. It's exactly the same.
As if the intake methods are done always done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and it's probably going to end up more towards you, and it's only because I know for DJA. How does Jira Product Discovery work well with Jira Online vetting processes?
That's a bit.
I should introduce myself first. Hi, I'm from Atlassian. I help large customers implement Jira Online. And Jira Online has some functionality in it where you can do like it has an ideation portal, you can capture ideas. Perhaps I should speak carefully here. One customer described like Jira Online ideation portal as like a Dacia, and the Jira Product Discovery is a Ferrari. I really like that example. So unless you're very, very keen on like tracking an idea from ideation through to delivery, which you would kind of I would recommend using Jira Online in the ideation portal for that. Otherwise, I would say Jira Product Discovery. From an Atlassian strategy perspective, we're thinking a lot about how we can actually bring some of these capabilities together into the
Can I jump in?
Go on, Brad.
Okay, this is from a client manager perspective. Brad, you're all from Atlassian. So, two things to say about product discovery is this is the second most talked about product right now in Atlassian from a client perspective, other than AI. This is what's hitting most coming through our service desk right now is product discovery. And the second thing to say is if you think about an organization in a silo, has multiple organizations within itself. So think of a bank, for example, that will have retail, wholesale, insurance, investment, all operating silo. You're taking multiple product discoveries that will go through their leadership, filter through and everything, with Jira line across the top of it for a single pane of glass view. So it filters all the way up through across the C-level in terms of visibility, as in, should we do this or shouldn't we do this? Is this a good idea or is this a bad idea? So if you take it one step further across silos within an organization, it works as well.
Anybody else got any experience in processes? It's great. Give it a try. How are you finding
it? Getting lots of disparate information together, so lots of things that can be I'm not sure what day has it's a shame that I'm not doing it, so I was able to use it properly. But yeah, we are on the time.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Nigel. Okay, everyone. I know you're eating, but Chris wants to use it to his advantage, so Chris is going to do the next talk.
If anyone wants seconds, quickly grab it. Yes, I want to talk while you've all got your mouths full so you can't heckle me. That's the plan.
Yeah.
I'll get through it quick, don't you mind?
Chris. I was like, oh, I can actually. That's fine. Yeah, good. Over to Chris. Anyway. Hey.
I'll just wait for the stragglers. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is my theme tune kicks in. Enjoy your meal, don't worry. No audience participation is encouraged. My name is Chris Cooke. I'm with Custom Charts for Jira, now part of Tempo. We make timesheets and all other things. Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of data and reporting and putting it in the hands of everyone because we can all benefit from data-driven insights. Okay? We make good reporting apps that everyone buys because they're great. I will try and minimize the sales pitch because, you know, that's not what we're here for, isn't it? So, knowledge is power. Francis Bacon, or as some internet people believe, Francis Bacon. I'm going to report on why the quarterly reports that your board stakeholders look at are bullshit and how you can fix that, all right? So Atlassian pride themselves on no bullshit. It's one of their company values. There you go. But unfortunately, big data is a lie. Before crypto, before safe, big data was the lie that everyone was sold. Right? If we all had harnessed the power of data-driven decision-making, then we would be in the promised land and everyone would be smarter and wiser. Unfortunately, very often it's snake oil. Because the problem with big data is unless you have small data, you have nothing. It is just nonsense. So for anyone that's ever worked on a sales team, you often have these projections, these hopes and dreams for what sales will happen in the future. And I'm made to say that if none of the salesmen are actually using the CRM, Salesforce, then none of those projections mean anything. They're just nonsense and noise and bullshit, frankly. And so if we're going to live in a no bullshit era, we need to acknowledge that a lot of the promises of big data often don't live up to their hopes, dreams, and expectations. This is a generic photo stock image of a perfectly diverse board. So every quarter these people look at numbers that are probably nonsense. And the reason is because so few people are actively getting involved in the day-to-day decisions, actively putting that data into their system, actively learning from that data, and actively benefiting from it. So there's a huge gap between people at the top and the PowerPoints they make and people at the bottom and the day-to-day actions. If you fail to connect those dots, you will fail to get good results and fail to harness the power of data for all of your team members. So I'm a big fan of data for the doers. Is there anyone here not English? Okay, apologies that this presentation is unapologetically English. That will be my last apology. Queen Elizabeth I, best leader ever, absolute genius, and in her infinite wisdom, she's been put under a lot of pressure to hang, draw and quarter all pirates because they were plundering, taking money from the British trade. She did the opposite and instead appointed them all leaders in the Navy. The genius of that was that she now had very experienced and skilled sailors. They're very independent, as pirates tend to be. They don't handle hierarchy well. So famously, when Prince Philip launched the Spanish Armada on a stormy day towards England, they were unable, because of the strict hierarchy of King Philip, to say no to him. But when Sir Francis Drake looked out and was told the Spanish are coming, he looked at the weather and went, cool, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna wait for this storm to blow over, and I'll deal with what remains of the Spanish Armada. And he was absolutely right. They all got blown all around and knocked up to hell. And the point was, he had the authority, the autonomy to not have to listen to this top-down hierarchy. He was able to make his own decisions because he had his own data. Cool? That metaphor was a bit heavy-handed, but hopefully we'll get it. Likewise, it's commonly held that the Germans had better planes, they were more industrialized, they were really earlier for war, better prepared, and so, yes, the Battle of Britain, famously, we feared the Germans attacking us from the air, And by all accounts, we were outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, and in a lot of trouble. However, we recently discovered radar. And what this meant was we were very aware when planes were coming. So we were able to launch in the right time, the right place, despite having smaller numbers, we were able to defend ourselves much more effectively. And this is commonly held to be the reason why we are not speaking German currently. So yeah, it's really important to have that fast feedback and enable your teams to get that feedback so that they can do what they need. If we're waiting for some top-down decision to come, it's going to be too slow and it's not going to help the people that need it do their day-to-day actions. So, why does reporting matter? You really need real-time project management updates. And it's not just for the quarterly board meeting, but it's for everyone who's working. Everyone deserves the benefit from data-driven decision making, the democratization of data. And those who are familiar with the problem with bottlenecks and how they slow things down and are a massive problem, getting good reporting for everyone really helps highlight and flag these immediately. And again, not to be flagged up to the board at the end of the quarter to then decide what to do strategically. Every team deserves these insights weekly to help give them quick feedback on what to fix and what to do. Reporting also helps with improved collaboration and improved communication. If anyone's ever had a boss that keeps sending them a message asking, is it done yet? Like the kids in the back of the car, are we there yet? You'll understand the frustration. And thankfully, if you've got good reporting that you can share, that's key as well. You don't just want a good report that you're using, but one you can use to share with people. Then you're able to share that, and so that they can check for themselves without having to keep bothering people personally. Nothing makes people feel unrespected, not trusted, and constant badgering. Is it done yet? Are we there yet? Right? So if people have the ability to share updates and share their wins and share their successes and share their feedback quickly and easily, that just really helps communication and collaboration up and down the chain, but also within teams and across departments as well. This leads people to making better informed decisions with their data and ultimately shipping stuff faster and higher quality. So when it comes to reporting in Jira, there is a hero and there is a villain. Who here is an Atlassian consultant or contractor or Jira admin? Put your hands up, please. Okay. Good news is you guys are the heroes. Bad news is you're also the villains. So what we often have with big data setups is a reporting overlord. A senior person who handles the BI tools. And it's their job to put together the reports quarterly for the board, handling all this big data. And anyone that wants a report has to ask them to help them because the tools are complicated and hard to use and take 4-day training course. And so this person ends up the bottleneck. Now often they're very, very smart and their time is very, very valuable. And as such, people are scared to ask them, hi, would you mind making this report for me? Especially if you're the marketing team and you just need a pie chart to update you on your daily, what's in progress, what's done, what's got done. When I was at Adaptivist, an Atlassian partner, we used EasyBI as our CRM for the sales team. And every time I wanted an update on how well my sales were going that month, I had to ask an Atlassian consultant busy on client one, hi, could you please make me a report so I can know whether I'm doing a good job or not? And that person, first time, did it quickly. Second time, took a month and a half to get back to me. Third time, I was just too afraid to ask. And so I went, okay, well, I'll just fight blind without that data, without that. And this is the problem. As well-meaning and as great as these reporting overlords are, for anyone else, it's very intimidating asking them for their very precious time. And so you end up with just slower and slower feedback loops and less data-informed decisions being made. So the key is simple to use tools that are easy to maintain, everyone's happy with, because these reporting overlords become a knowledge bottleneck. It's a high cost. They could be working on client services, which make it business money. And if they leave, and they're the one maintaining all your reports, you've got a problem. And they become a bottleneck for a lot of people. So, custom charts to the rescue. The app we make, and yeah, it's a bit of sales pitch here, but I think it's worth it. It's called Custom Charts for Jira. And the reason we made it is because there is built-in reports out of the box with Jira. This graph shows what you can do with the tool versus how much experience you need to use the tool. Okay? So out of the box, Jira reporting. Is there any massive fans of Jira reporting? That's fine. That's why the marketplace exists, right? I found without any apps wouldn't be very useful, would it? So thankfully there's an app for that. Right? And so you have these great, very powerful BI tools. And if you're a big enterprise user, you absolutely can and should have one of these tools. Right? They're phenomenal. You can do everything with it. However, it will take you a minimum 4-day training course and a lot of work and dedication from someone who is a nerd for big data in order to get the most out of these tools. For everyone else, day to day, for your Scrum team, your retrospective, your agile meetings, for the marketing team's pie charts, there's Master. There's custom charts for Jira or other apps, but they haven't come to travel to Southampton, so we'll talk about that. So, custom charts for Jira and Confluence does a lot of powerful things very simply. We've made it, we've spent a lot of time working on making it intuitive, simple to use, so that even the marketing team can use it. No offense, Barry. Even the sales team can use it. No offense, Ben. Even the managers can use it. No offense, myself. So, if you want to see, the time and status, how long it's been there, and whether things are getting blocked in to do, in progress, you can do that with a few clicks. It's very intuitive. It's just click and play. No training course required, honestly. And this means that every team can take care of themselves without having to ask someone for help, without having to go to one of those senior technical people and ask them to do it for them. And so everyone gets the benefit of data-driven decisions. There's lots. I know I'm getting in between you and your next point, so I'll just skip through this bit quickly. And if you're interested, we can do a deep demo later. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots. We work very well with Jira Service Desk, we talked about earlier. You can actually share the reports from Jira Service Desk on Confluence pages with external users, which is very nice. You can show typical time to resolution, SLA. And also your teams can get this feedback well, so your support teams know how well they're doing, where the blockers are, what the problems are, and highlight potential problems on the support side. We do very good agile reporting. This is an example of multi-project reports. We compile them into one, good for big companies that are trying to highlight all sorts. We do 1 and 2-dimensional reports you can see here. And there's lots of cool things, as I say. The most important thing is, not only is it easy for everyone to make reports, but it's easy to share those reports with anyone. Because there's nothing worse than being the best kept secret. Right? If you have your wins and your goals and your dreams and you've achieved something, being able to share it with the board, the fuzzy picture from before, it will hurt your feelings, but the average CEO doesn't log into Jira. So if you're putting all your reports on a Jira dashboard, he will not be aware of it, and that information is not being shared. So we've made it really easy to export to PDF, to send by email, to send by Slack, to share publicly with whoever wants this data, so everyone can benefit, not just the Jira nerds. Perfect. And we integrate with important things like Script Runner and loads of add-ons. We'll talk about it later, don't worry. So if anyone wants to have a play, we have this on our website, so you don't need to install anything. There's a demo environment, there's a playground, so you can try before you buy. We'll also be very welcome to give you a demo. We've got great support and customer service success team. We're very happy to show you for anyone that's interested at all. We're kind of a big deal. And we're great. That's all from me. If anyone gives this a go and either writes a review, good or bad, or posts on social media about us, at the moment we're giving away very colourful, beautiful bomber jackets.
Okay.
That was the wow of the presentation. I should have led with that. But thank you all very much for your time. Enjoy your meal and some food. And it's lovely to see you. Thanks for putting it all together. No. I nearly got away.
You did. Does anybody have any questions, any reporting nightmares that they want to speak openly about? No. Cool. Names anyway. Thank you very much, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentations that have been here tonight. Thank you very much to Nigel and Chris. If you can give them one last round of applause. The rest of the evening is yours. The bar is still obviously open. Feel free to grab a drink and continue networking. Obviously, thank you very, very much for coming to the first ACE Solent event. And have a good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Dan for putting this on and his partner principal. Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.